Hello friends, this is Uday Mittal from Yaksas CSC. I recently came across a Magento malware, and in this video I'll show you how I decoded it and also understand its basic functionality. A few days back, during the regular maintenance of my Magento websites, I came across this piece of code. It was injected into the index.php file. On the first look, it is hard to understand what this piece of code does, as it is heavily obfuscated. However, as you can see here, that there are two parts of this code. The upper part of the code is where the main functionality resides, and the lower part decodes it and executes the code. I'll start with the lower part first. This part contains some variables, and I'll start with the lower part first. This part contains some variables and it stores certain strings into these variables. The strings are hex and UTF-8 encoded. Now I'll copy this piece of code and paste it in an online PHP decoder, and then I'll decode it. Upon decoding, this gives me the ASCII value of hex and UTF encoded characters. I've copied the encoded and decoded code into a notepad file, and I've constructed the strings that were being stored into these variables. As you can see here, that I got the following strings: assert, str_rot13, gzinflate, and base64 decode. Now let's decode the last line of code in this part. As you can see here, that this line is made up of the variable names that were used to store the strings. I just replace the variable name with its decoded values, and let's see what we get. It's a chain of PHP functions and some encoded text. My next task was to decode the remaining encoded text in this line of code. That would give us further insight on the functionality of this malware. I copied the encoded part of this code and pasted it in an online PHP code evaluator. And then I selected the chain of functions and hit execute. Let's see what I got. It's more PHP code. Upon analyzing this code, we see that it refers to the variable in the first part of the code. The first statement here tells us that it is passing this variable through one of the functions mentioned in the previous part of the code. Upon cross-referencing with the previously decoded code, we see that it is running base64_decode function on this variable. Let's see what that decodes to. To decode this code, I copy the entire PHP code into a PHP file, replace the last eval statement with the echo statements, and execute this script. Upon execution, it decodes the text stored in the swvjgn7 variable and prints it on the screen. As you can see, that most of this code is still hex encoded, and this makes it difficult to understand what it does. I'll now copy this code and paste it in the online PHP decoder and hit decode. The decrypted code gives us fair insights into what this code might be doing. A quick review of the decrypted code tells us that it might have something to do with the billing and payment information. This can be inferred from the strings such as billing, billing first name, billing last name, cc_month, cc_number, etc. mentioned in this code. So here I have formatted this code and cleaned it a bit. This makes it easier to understand the functionality of this code. As we can see here, that it collects the billing information and payment information. Yes, it then encodes it into base 64 and sends it to this email ID. So this looks like a malware designed to steal billing and payment information from Magento websites. Upon searching a part of this code on Google, it led me to Magento malware scanner repository on GitHub, and here you can see that this part of code has indeed been identified as a backend Magento malware that leaks billing information. To protect your Magento website from such malware, make sure that your Magento installation is up to date. Constantly scan your website for such malware using any of Magento malware scanners available on the internet. Remove any infected files and restore them from a clean backup of your website. And lastly, contact your developer for further support. Thank you for watching this video. To know more about the tools used in this video, check out the links in the description. For more information about our e-commerce or cybersecurity services, log on to elitedevs.in or yaksas.in or drop us a mail at contactus@elitedevs.in. Please subscribe to this channel for more such videos.